Hello and welcome to the 2025 annual enrollment period. I am making this video particularly for people that are on the Blue Cross Blue Choice Extra. You can see right in here is what we're after. Now, I'm making this video at request. By no means, I'm actually a little bit nervous. I by no means want you to think that I don't want you to come in and sit in my office, or I don't want to come home or do this with you over the phone. I am happy. It's actually better if I can talk with you and kind of go back and forth. You can ask me questions, I can ask you questions, right? But there are some of my clients that just like, hey, give me the highlights. What's the difference? I can watch it at my own speed. I can watch it again, right? So I'm making this video for them. You can disregard it. You can please use this as just knowledge and then come in and ask me questions. But this was a request that I was asked to put out. So I'm going to try and go through this on the high end. All right, there actually aren't a lot of differences. What I did, you can see over here is the 2024, 2025. All right, so if I scroll down here and then scroll down, you can see that the yellow is things that didn't change. Blue are things that changed a little bit, and red changed a lot. Oh, it looks like I forgot one yellow over here. There you go. All right, so the monthly premium is still the same, 0, 0. The Part B premium reduction, this is the money that they send to you every month that goes back into your Social Security. You can see here. So last year, 2024, they were given $31 a month into your Social Security to reduce the $174 that Medicare is taking out of your Social Security. They have not told us yet what the Part B premium is going to be for 2025. Might be 174, might be less, might be more. We don't know that. But at least you are currently getting $31. Next year, you'll be getting $26. All right, moving on. The deductible for your prescriptions. Now, this is a huge portion that we will get into a little bit later, but they stuck it up here, so we start here. This year, you have a $400 deductible. That starts in January. This is why everybody in January calls me up and says, hey, listen, in November, December, my drug only cost me $50. Why is it costing me $400 now in January? It is because you have a deductible that you have to meet, $400, but only for tiers 3, 4, and 5. So tier 1 is a generic. Tier 2, well, it's a preferred generic. Tier 2 is generic. Tier 3 is preferred name brand. Tier 4 is name brand. And tier 5 is specialty. Right, so the deductible only counts for preferred name brand, and specialty. It doesn't count for generics. They are just a copay from January on. And it is the same next year. No changes there. Maximum out of pocket, $7,900 versus $9,300. That is a large jump. That's why it's in red. This should not be that large of a concern. If you've been my client for any length of time, you should know that there are plans that I can switch you to mid-year, right, at the beginning of any month, that will negate this cost all the way down to roughly $3,600 a year. I say this jokingly, but it's the way I can make the point. You cannot be in the ambulance on the way to the hospital, call me up, go and switch it now. But on the reverse, when you do go into the hospital, no one sends me a text message letting me know that one of my clients is there and they need help. So if something happens, you have a procedure coming up, you've got a diagnosis that you didn't see coming, please let me know, and then I can negate that cost. All right, moving on. Inpatient hospital coverage, $400 per day for the first 5 days. From day 0 to day 90, you just kind of enjoy the Jello. It's free. All right, well, it's not free. I can't say free. It's of $0. But last year you were looking at $400 for the first 5. Now it has moved up to $475 for the first 5 days. Still 0 from 6 to 90. And so that is a large jump, and I do not have a good explanation of why that $75 hit has increased. Slide down to the next one. All right, outpatient hospital coverage, $380, going up to $400. Small jump, that's why it's in blue. I do want you to know that this is for like cataract. So if you go into the hospital, you have a surgery, and you leave the same day, this is what your cost would be. I do also want you to know that there is an ambulatory surgical center, meaning if you went to like Reed Eye or you got a colonoscopy done out, not in the hospital, but off-site someplace else, this is what that fee is for. Also went up $20. Your primary care physician and your specialist visits are staying the same. $10. Doctor visits, $50, meaning your specialists, no changes there. Your preventatives are still mammography, pap smear, gynecological, prostate, colonoscopy, immunization, and well visits. Those are all preventative, and they are $0 for every plan in the United States. Emergency room went up from 100 to 110. Again, in blue, it's small. Urgent care went down from 55 to 45. That's good. Diagnostic labs and imaging, meaning MRIs, CAT scans, 300, staying there. Labs and services diagnostic, meaning blood draws, pathogens, along those lines, $15. Move on down to diagnostic tests and procedures. 15 versus 15. No change there. This would be if you had to get an ultrasound done, not as a therapy, but as a diagnostic tool. That's what that 15. X-rays are staying the same, 55. Diagnostic labs, therapeutic radiological, meaning you're getting into your cancer treatments or, again, back to the ultrasound, but more for a therapeutic, not for imaging. Right? It's 20%. Hearing aid services, still 50. What I want to explain here, because you can also see routine hearing is 0. If you go in and they just say, hey, listen, do you hear the sound? Raise your right hand, raise your left hand. That is just your routine hearing exam. If they start saying, can you say this letter, can you say that letter, right, that is going to change the price to the $50. Scrolling down, same deal on the benefits. If you go to True Hearing, right, you have your choice between a $500 and an $800 hearing aid. That's same, nothing changed. If you want to get the rechargeable hearing aid, they add an extra $50 on there. Still no change there. Dental. I am actually happy to convey that the dental is going to stay exactly the same for next year. All right. Again, I think it takes a little bit of explanation. Your preventative dental, so 2 cleanings, 2 oral exams, 2 x-rays are going to be at no cost to you for the beginning of next year, January 1. However, if you do have to get some kind of routine service, meaning a filling, a removal, replacement, then it is a $50. If it's just going in, you're looking at 0. But anything above that is a $50 one-time you pay. You are still good up to $1,000. That is the limit. Right? If you need more than that, if you know that you have some coming, let me know. You can have an additional dental policy. We can add another one on that'll raise that from $1,000 to $2,250. That should be helpful. And I do want to confirm that it is a full comprehensive dental. If you look at the list, restorative, periodontics, scaling, oral surgeries, extraction, endodontics, root canals, prosthodontics, select crowns, not all, crowns, dentures, and bridges, prosthetic maintenance. Right? There is no implants, no braces. No implants, no braces. Vision services, you're getting same deal. If you're getting tested for glaucoma, you're getting tested for cataracts, right? You're looking at a $50 copay for either one, the routine or the diagnostic. In addition to that, right, they're getting a big change for dollar amounts, which I like. As I'm sitting here talking to you with glasses on. Last year they gave you $125 for a set of frames and lenses. Right now they're going to go up to $250, so double. I like that. So if you're planning on getting a set of glasses, wait till January. Mental health services inpatient was $374. It did jump up to $407. That's an extra $33. I think that's reasonable. Coming down to mental health services, right? So 20% if you're going to the outpatient therapy groups. This is actually more necessary if you're looking at skilled nursing facilities. Again, this is for rehab purposes. If you broke your hip and you have to go in to get rehab before they send you home, the first 20 days are covered in full. Then after that, it's $203 a day up to 100 days. That is now jumped to $214. Right, so again, that's an $11 change, but it's small. I will say this, that once you've reached that 20 days, they usually just want to push you out into the parking lot and hope somebody picks you up. They're trying to get you out, but just so you know that there is coverage for that. This is a big hit. I know it's not a lot of money, but $40 for physical therapy is now down to $35. Not a lot, but that's a change in the right direction for physical therapy. I like that. Moving down, ambulance, another change. Went up $15 for your ambulance ride, $260 to $275. Transportation, there are no transportation on these plans. No one's coming to pick you up or take you to the doctor. That is on you. For a small portion, if you are insulin diabetic, $35 copayment for used traditional insulin pumps. Right, so that is a big thing. Now, we're getting into the biggest change of the entire year. I guess I can sum it up real quickly by saying that there is no longer a donut hole. If you can look here, there used to be the initial coverage, right, which is your deductible. You had a $400 deductible right there. Then after that, you paid copays, $5, $15, $42, 21%. Then after you hit $5,030, you got into the coverage gap, or the donut hole, where you have to pay 25% of the drugs until you get to $8,000 out of pocket. Once you get to $8,000, you go into the catastrophic coverage, right, where they cover everything. Coming up 2025, over here, we have the initial coverage. You're still hitting that $400 deductible, right? Let me go back here so I can get you exactly where I need to be. All right, 0 and 5. Again, preferred pharmacy versus standard, like a Wegmans versus a CVS, depending on which carrier you're talking about. 0, still the same. 5, still the same. Down here, 15 and 20, still the same. 42, 47, still the same. Now we're getting into the difference. 20% or 21% to 50%. That is large. This might be your Trulicities, your Ozempic, your Jardiance. If these we're looking at $1,000 drugs, all right, if you were paying 21%, $210, right, over here now you're looking at $500. But again, that $500 only to get you to your $400 deductible. Then after that, that's where the change comes in. Look, after you've reached, yeah, I should probably tell you, 27% to 28% on the tier 5s, the specialty drugs. Then, you see this is huge, you skipped right past. If you look, the initial coverage, and then it went to the coverage gap. Phase 2, there's no more coverage gap. There's no more donut hole where you're paying that 25%. Once you've spent $2,000, your deductible and your copays, right, then you're paying $0 for generics and brand name drugs. Please keep in mind, this is not a brand name. Tiers 1, 2, 3, and 4, right, are brand names. So that would mean your Jardiance, your Ozempics, your Trulicities, they are tier 4s. So you would be paying 50% until you get to $2,000, and then you don't pay anything for them for the rest of the year. So while that makes January, February, March maybe quite a bit more painful, it also means that right around that March time frame, you should be done for the rest of the year. So this is a huge, huge change. All right, some of the other things. Over the counter. Last year, you were given $30 every quarter to go to Walmart or Walgreens and get the over-the-counter Band-Aids or saline solution or so on and so forth. That has now been up to $50 per quarter. So that's a small change, but still something. Acupuncture, still the same. Meals, they do not do the meal coverage for you. Rehabilitation services, $40 versus $35 for occupational therapy. It used to be all therapies were there, but speech and language, if you had a stroke and you needed to get that back, $40 versus $35. And then the rest of them are going to be pretty much the same. Rehabilitation services, foot care, routine, medical equipment, diabetes, monitoring supplies, test stripping, $5. Back to diabetes. All right, here's another big change. And I have to explain this correctly because I don't want it to be confusing. That right there. This year, 2024, you had Silver and Fit with participating, so you paid $0 to get your gym membership. Now they've moved from Silver and Fit to Fit on Health. Right, you're still going to get your $0 to go to your gym membership, right? But they do it more with points, and you can actually get extra money for fitness classes, home fitness equipment, a fitness trainer, so on and so forth. So you're still going to get the same benefit. It's just called something different now, and they're going to increase what actually goes on. And you will not get this $150 of annual allowance. You get it a different way on this. If you have questions about that, I can give you more details. I believe that is all routine physical exams. We know 0 immunizations or 0 telehealth, doing it at home rather than spending 4 hours in the emergency room, and that's on the low estimate. MD Live, telehealth, chiropractics, $15 on the chiropractic. There's a small change there. It used to be 10, so it's gone up. Home health care, outpatient dialysis, outpatient substances. Right? If you are on dialysis and you need these, I will probably have it in a different plan. You shouldn't be here. And that is the end. So hopefully, 16 minutes into this explanation, I've gone through what the changes are. Right? If you are on the 2024 Extra, I'm recommending that you stay there. I think it's a very, very good plan. I still have my father, who is 82 years old, on this plan. But if you do have some large changes, please, please, please reach out to me. Again, I don't want this to be something that says you don't have to talk to me. If you this was enough and you just want to stay in the same plan, just reply back to me and say same plan, and I will take care of everything else. We'll just let it roll over. I do need to know. It's important for me to keep track of those things. Right? If you want to have a sit down and me to go over another plan, I do represent United, MVP, Humana, Trinity, United, Aetna, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Basically, I represent every health insurance company that I'm allowed to represent in New York State and 8 other states: Massachusetts, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Arizona, Utah, and Alaska. So if you have questions, please, please, please reach out to me, 585-210-3168. And if this is enough for you, thank you for saving the time. I hope you have a great holiday season, and I will talk to you next October. Bye-bye.